Okay, I can explain the principles and concepts of the preamble. So the preamble simply reads, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." So the preamble is the introduction to the Constitution. It's the very first part, and this is what it says. And we're going to talk about these 6 purposes that are in the preamble. So the word preamble actually means introduction. It starts off, "We, the people of the United States." And it starts off this is really significant because in history, the king always had the power. The king was the source of power, and the king was the ultimate authority on decisions. America, we have a system where the power begins with the people. Sometimes this is called popular sovereignty. And so basically, it's basically saying we are in charge of the United States. So the people have the power. It begins with us. In order to form a more perfect union. So under the Articles of Confederation, the 13 states were fairly weak. They were more like 13 separate countries. So they wrote a new constitution that better unites the 13 states and created a more perfect union. So for the purpose of bringing the 13 states together, and there's the old-fashioned flag that they had at the time, establish justice. Justice is usually in reference to our court system. And so one way to say this is it's going to make things fair for all people. You get what you deserve when you have justice. And this is our court system that is mainly our enforcing justice and making decisions related to justice in the United States. Under the Articles of Confederation, there was no national or federal court system. Every state had its own court system. The new Constitution created a judicial branch at the federal level. And here's a statue that they'll often have at a lot of courthouses. This is an embodiment, a symbol of justice. And so justice is blind, meaning justice doesn't judge people by the color of their skin or how rich they are, but just the facts of the case. You have a balance scale. It weighs the punishment. The punishment should fit the crime. And so those are a couple key symbols of justice. Here's the next part. It says, ensure domestic tranquility. Domestic is a word that means home, and tranquility is a word that means peace. And so when we talk about home and we're talking about politics, we're talking about our home country. So this is ensuring that there is peace within our borders, to have peace within our country. And one of the main things, systems of part of our government that does that is like the police. The police will make sure that, there's not rebellions, there's not riots, there's people aren't robbing, stealing, or killing. So we want to have a country that has domestic tranquility, peace within our country. The next is provide for the common defense. And common means all of us. So this is all of us, the people, and defense. And we have a Department of Defense. It's mainly our military. And so we're protecting us from foreign invasion here. And so we've got an army. We have a Navy and an Air Force that are the main branches of our military that protect us from foreign invasion. And you got to have a national government that's in charge of that. The Constitution created a stronger national government that could draft soldiers, conscript soldiers, make them force people to be part of the military to protect America if that need arises. Promote the general welfare. General is another word that means all of us, and welfare is the well-being of. And it's a really vague word. It could mean wealth. it can mean health, it can mean business, trade, prosperity. And so there's a lot of programs the government does that promotes the general welfare. So one way to say this is improving the quality of life for as many as possible. And this could include national parks. We have national parks throughout America. It includes schools, a money system so we can buy and sell fairly easily, bridges, transportation, trains, airports that's regulated and promoted by the federal government. Even health requirements. Employees must wash their hands, and making sure that food standards are high so people don't get sick. Simple requirements like building codes, like you have to have exit signs, and we're going to make buildings safe so they don't collapse during an earthquake. Museums would be another thing, just promoting the general welfare. Again, it's improving the quality of life for as many as possible. And secure the blessings of liberty. Liberty is another word for freedom. And secure, you're protecting it. And so I put to protect our freedom is how I define that. And this could be the police, it could be the military, it could be the justice system. These are all ways that protect our liberty. These are all government programs that ultimately protect our freedom. To ourselves and our posterity. So posterity is our children. So we want freedom for ourselves. We want all these blessings of a good government for ourselves. But we also want it for our children, our children's children, our great-grandchildren. Going back, that's our posterity. To us and future generations is how I defined that. And, so that's a painting there. Do ordain and establish this Constitution. So we create this plan of government. And here is, a famous painting. This is actually of the Declaration of Independence, but it's in the same location, and here they are organizing the government. And so that's, and the last one, for the United States of America. And so pretty simple, for the United States of America. We're doing these 6 purposes. Okay, so what clause shows who is sovereign? Sovereign is a word that we've used in class a few times. It means who has the power. Pretty simple. Who has the power in the preamble? It starts with we the people. So we the people are sovereign. What clause says they were trying to bring the U.S. together? Pretty simple, in order to form a more perfect union. Okay. What clause talks about peace within our country? So within the country is domestic, and peace is tranquility. What clause talks about protecting America from invasion? I would say it's this one, provide for the common defense. What clause talks about improving life for everyone? Promote the general welfare. What clause talks about protecting our freedom? That's secure the blessings of liberty. What clause talks about making America fair? I'd say this first one, establish justice. What clause talks about us and our children? It's ourselves and our posterity. And what clause talks about creating a new plan of government? We do it, ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So that's a brief introduction of the preamble.